system being completely shut down.
Thank you.
So we are kind of back to normal systems now with First American. So they're our underwriter. They take care of our title policies and our title searches. They only had one system shut down, but because of that kind of security breach, they decided to shut everything down just for protective measures. So in case you were wondering if you had a title company that couldn't close or, was delayed, that was probably why. I will credit TAP because we were able to continue systems as normal on the back end of things. We had Yvonne, if you've met our title officer. So we are actually in a really good spot to take care of these things. So hopefully it doesn't happen again, but if it does, we're prepared. So, yeah. Also, there are extra 2024 planners and little gifts, so please help yourself. Start the day you're on right with the planner.
Can I make a recommendation? Sure. What's your name and what company are you with?
Oh. I'm Samantha from Title Finance Professional.
Good stuff. Cool. All right, so as you all know, we like to start off also with recognizing good things. So a couple of quick pieces there. So first of all, again, it's been kind of a challenging market out there. I think a lot of us have mentioned something like that, but love the fact that you guys always remain true professionals during that and are polite and appreciated by your peers. So a couple I'll share that jumped out at me recently. Debbie Parkins, great partner to work with, very professional, down to earth, reasonable and realistic with expectations, highly recommended during deals with her, very ethical, no gameplay, straight to business. That's the way real estate. A little shorter one here, but very good. Frank Buchanan. Frank was extremely professional and a pleasure to work with. And Sarah, our very own Sarah. So Sarah was incredibly professional, communicative, and diligent. We worked to get both of our clients to a winning point, and that's what it's about. I enjoyed our transaction and hope to do another one. And this one is for Nicole Fisher and Nick as well. Nicole and Nick are wonderful to work with, communicative, negotiate for a win-win. These two have experience that shows. And Jeff Swarens. Jeff is definitely a 5-star agent, responsive, constantly in solution mode, answers his phone, and all around great guy. I hope to work with him again.
Hey, Mike, why don't you tell us what is this information?
Yeah, so this stuff comes from a program called Peer Reputation. So automatically, this stuff just goes out on any front sale. Asking, how was the transaction? How was your agent? That sort of thing. So it's great to be able to get that from our peers out there in the markets. Again, it's not anything that we're stacking the deck on, that kind of thing. And the company as a whole remains very high on that kind of stuff. But also if you get that and want to recommend someone on the other side, someone truly you think is fantastic to work with, let us know that as well. Again, we're always looking for those win-wins. All right. So the other thing I wanted to mention is that Avondale and Arrowhead up here, we had a great deal of fun with the little deck the halls thing the last couple of weeks here. Wasn't sure exactly what that was going to be like, how that was going to end up going. And it was interesting seeing that over the course of a couple of weeks, continuing to kind of like have a little bit of maybe one-upmanship going on, something like that. Because they kept getting more elaborate and bigger and was spreading throughout the structure. They can be, I've noticed that, Shan, they can be competitive. But yeah, so lots of fun stuff there. And we have a couple of judges here with us today. Tough thing to figure out, who is quote unquote the best. I will not speak to judging criteria, but real quick, they're going to pop up here and tell us what they felt about that. That might just be you, Bill.
Yeah, I'll be the guy. I was one of the guys.
Yes, all right.
I'm Bill Denhart. I'm with Valley Building Inspection. You're very welcome. Sam, hi. So Sam and I had a lot of fun doing this, and we jumped between the Glendale and the Avondale office. A couple shout outs, a couple specific details that I thought were spectacular. First of all, I don't know if you guys saw it, but this elf thing right here with the little candy cane, candy corn, all the elf syrup, all the 4 food groups of the elves was represented right here. And I don't know if you can see it, something about cotton-headed ninny muggins, whatever he says. Yeah, and then there's language. And then all these cotton balls, dude, it was fantastic. Also, shout out to Collado team. These are, they were paper
They're
bags.
paper, yeah, they're made from paper.
So like white paper lunch sacks that are like tied together and then like, you know, those old, snowflake, you know, school projects, craft projects, they did that and they opened it up and they had all these 3D, I mean, it was spectacular. And then obviously the West team with all those pictures found mine immediately, go figure. But I think we came to a conclusion and the winner, overall winner was the motto team with Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Why? First of all, I don't know if she had a motion sensor, but when I rolled up, the music started, and then I came up to it. There was figurines of Grandma, literally, and it was a porcelain doll of Grandma, really nice one that got run over, but it was really, really good. And but everybody did a fantastic job, and it was really fun to judge it. So come on up and get your prize. Get your trophy.
So the more morbid Shermans, like that.
It really, I kind of have a morbid disposition sometimes around the holidays, you know, it's really, it nailed it, so, and the other shout out I wanna mention is, the Collado team who's not being represented, it was actually a, Avondale, won that one, Glendale, Motto won that, so there's another trophy being made from what I understand. And, I'll be heading down to Avondale to hand the Collado team the trophy personally. So, my office make you ready to go. Thanks, everybody, good job. Yeah,
All right, so that may seem like a bigger deal than we originally intended it to be, but I'll tell you what, it was an awful lot of fun, and I think it's always worth spending a little time on that, so good stuff there.
That was the first time, right?
Yeah, it's the first time we tried that, but apparently you guys liked it pretty well, so we'll roll with that. So another thing I wanted to mention just real quick here, early bird registration for R4. Who is going to R4? Right, okay, well, there should be some more hands, but you know, not too bad here. So reminder, early bird registration ends on January 10th. And being with a premier brokerage, Green Professionals here, you get an extra $100 off registration fees. And that means right now, the regular registration is $6.99, early bird is $5.99, but for us it's $4.99. So if you're planning on going or thinking about going, go register right now before the 10th, get that great deal on that price there. And just FYI, that is automatic apply, you get code, anything like that. So basically when you get to the final screen for your order before payment, you'll see it jump in there. So don't worry about it till you get there. When you get to the last screen, you'll see just an extra -100. So take advantage of that.
You know, somebody could probably buy 2 or 3 of those and then sell them later on.
It's weird, we've got entrepreneurs in this room.
There you go. Scalpers.
So, Nate, you want to talk very briefly just about gas and just kind of retooling that a little bit for the 24 here?
Cool. So we've gone through another year of gas, maybe it was just the first year. It's very interesting. You know, I just read about 29 responses to a survey I sent out, and it's very interesting to see what people think and feel and so forth. But we're gonna do it again this year. We may change the time. That seems to be the biggest challenge of 1 o'clock on a Monday. We lose a lot of people to showing houses for some reason and going on a listing appointment. So I think we're gonna try and make it earlier. We're gonna keep it on Monday, seems to be the consensus. So Kim will get an email out. But if you haven't joined, what it basically is, gas is really, it says achievements, but it really is accountability, right? So if you want accountability, this is where you would come, right? Anybody in here that's in gas have anything to say about it? Steve? There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I do it, and I guess for me, the biggest thing is to hear what other people are doing that are successful. Things that they do just with their clients, and then it just. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just, the sharing of ideas, and camaraderie, and accountability.
Oh, we accountability, right? So accountability equals love, right? One thing about accountability is we just want to share the love and help you get to where you want to go, right? It's not gonna beat you with the stick and drag you across hot coals. It's just really, we want to help you achieve the goals.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the thing, and if you're accountable to yourself, that's what it's about, right, Nate? You're not about anyone else, but if, that turns out that you're having a challenge or something, the idea is that, again, hey, how can everyone collectively, or, like you said, Steve, hearing what people are doing, how does it help you get past that roadblock for yourself? So it's a beautiful thing, and definitely jump in and take advantage of that.
When did that start up again?
Probably next Monday,
Yeah.
or
So-
next Monday.
So you'll see a email going out about that, and you'll be able to, choose time slots or preferred slots, things like that. So you'll get the information there. And of course, always talk to us about that if you're
So,
unsure.
if I understand this correctly, we should keep all of Monday open until we hear from you on the time.
Well, let's continue on and we'll try and figure that out. We just got the surveys back a couple days ago. So what we're doing is we're launching another class that is on Mondays. And actually, I wanted our gas meeting to go to 9 o'clock on Monday. But we're gonna run this, because we think this is an overall quick fix to what every real estate trainer out there is talking about, is we're entering a experience-based market, right? So we have to have skills and we have to prove our skills in the market that we have in front of us. So we're gonna start off with the slam class, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this twice a week. We usually do this only once a week, right? So SLAM stands for Seller Listing Management, right? So, or Mastery, sorry, scratchy throat. So this program is really based to get you into the listing mode quick. Came to Tambor yesterday, I drove to Mesa and back for hockey, and I was listening to KTR on the way there and the way back. They must have plugged her 7 or 8 times in that 2-hour drive time that I had, on where she's saying that the Phoenix market is getting ready to have a seller boom, right? A seller's market, as interest rates are starting to come down. There's that pent up demand of sellers. If you recall last month, we had a screen up here that showed how many homes expired and canceled. I think at that time it was around 7,000 homes that had expired or canceled in the last 6 months. The holidays are over, those people are gonna re-enter the market, right? There's a lot of people that expired, October, November, didn't want to go back on the market yet. They'll be coming on the market. So we really thought jumping out with this slam class, this was Sarah's idea. She thought she had nothing better to do but teach 2 more classes on top of what she does already during the week. So sign up for that. There's a QR code right there. If you want to take a picture of it.
What's the cost?
For RE/MAX professionals agents, absolutely free.
That's a plan.
That's amazing. And I'm not gonna go longer on this right now because we got some other great stuff coming up here, but one thing I will say, if you're on the fence at all about this, just like all the other stuff that's, workman momentum, whatever, what we measure, we can improve, so all this stuff is tracked. And the last time we did this live, that was the 11-week course, this is condensed to 6, but still, the average additional commission earned per agent that was in that from those activities, not just generally in their business, was a little over 15K. So again, if you can keep up with those activities, times 4, since it was 11 weeks, and an extra 50 to 60K or more, like, I don't know, I could use that. So again, it's fantastic stuff. Doing it now, especially with what's coming, a very good thing. All right, Broker Shannon's got a couple of things for us. Yeah.
I have to stand by this thing, is that what it's
No.
supposed to not? Good morning, everyone. This last week, and I've mentioned this a couple times recently, but I've had, several questions about it this week in particular, about whether or not we have to be members of NAR. And although those changes may be out there in terms of the RE/MAX settlement and some of those things, our local MLS Armless is owned by our local 3 associations, which means in order to have MLS access, we have to be members of the associations. So we are still, as a company, as a whole, all members of all the associations. And there's a lot of negative stuff out there about that, but I just want to remind you guys of some of the good things that they do. Our forums, free tech support, their classes that are free they provide for us, the fact that they've lobbied for us to work through the pandemic and we didn't get shut down like a lot of people in a lot of other states and a lot of realtors. the transfer tax that they made a constitutional amendment to. So imagine if you live in an area where you have to charge a seller an extra 3% to sell their house because they have a transfer tax they have to pay. It's hard enough right now, I think, for everybody financially in the market. So those kind of things in our local market that they have done for us are huge, you guys. And I just want to remind you of the good stuff of some of the things they do. So also wanted to, because we have several new people, and I just wanted to, it comes up sometimes, but in our checklist, I have required items in there, and they're all required. However, if HOA, lead paint, what do we have? Lead paint, dual, those kind of things, they're turned on, if you will, because I don't know until I review the file whether or not we need those items. So it's safer to not miss them and have to turn them on while I'm reviewing the file. It's easier for me to just make a note, not a dual, turn it off and be good. So if you see those and it's not applicable to your transaction, it's fine, just leave it. We will take care of it and turn it off for you. And I just want to say thank you for everybody. I know the ABA stuff with the new affiliated business arrangement disclosure, it's kind of a pain and there's new rules to all that. I just appreciate everybody stepping up and taking care of that. Haven't had to flag very many files at all for missing that. So I appreciate you guys for that. Thank you. We also have a new commission sheet because we have so larger teams now, and sometimes with TCs and assistants that are being paid, that sort of thing, you know, part of that. There's now a 2-page, so you have more, you can add additional folks to that if you have more than just the 2 on that front page. So that will get submitted to Sky Slope. I'll give them a little time, usually it's a week or so. Yeah, and we'll let you guys know in the what's happening email on Fridays when that's available for you. For now, it's in the working docs if you do need that extra form. We're also going to be creating, so you may see in the form side of it, some Tucson templates in there. So be careful which one you choose because they have a couple of different forms and some different things that they need down there. So we're going to be creating a buyer and seller checklist for Tucson separate. So just make sure you're choosing the right one. And then I just wanted to also share with you, we have a lot of new people that have joined us, and we have grown and expanded where we work, honestly. So we've always been primarily here in the West Valley, but we do have an agent now who works the Happy Jack area in that northern area and lives and is familiar with it. So, you know, that expertise piece or the experience piece. We have Prescott, we have Flagstaff, we have Tucson, we have Green Valley, and Tucson is a lot of those surrounding areas. That's a big area down there. We have Sedona now as of Monday or Tuesday when we joined Sedona. So I think there's only 3 associations in the state that we do not belong to at the moment. So
Sierra Vista?
Sierra Vista, is that separate?
No.
That's separate.
Well, I have an agent in Benson and Sierra Vista,
Oh.
Cochise County, and they're part of we serve.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I knew that part. I wasn't, okay. So,
There you go.
so the thing is, if you have someone who needs help in any of those areas, we have people in-house now that can help them with that. And I think that's just awesome that you don't have to even go outside the company. You could work with someone right here in the in-house for your referral on that.
I have a question on that.
Yeah.
So does that mean that we're part of that MLS, like in Tucson or Sedona, that we can find homes? 'Cause I know like in Flagstaff, but we're not part of that.
So we are as a brokerage, but
Right.
still individually you would need to join.
Oh, okay.
So, but we have agents in those already. Yeah. So, does that make sense? And
Yeah.
it's a secondary membership, so depending on which one it is, the fees are, I mean, there's some associations, the secondary memberships are free, but their MLS might charge a little different. So they're all different. Trying to keep track of them has been fun.
So if we have like a good client or family member that lives in Tucson, and even
Yeah.
though I'm not a part of that MLS, I can partner up with another RE/MAX special and still working. Okay, that's great.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay.
Work out those, negotiate those referrals.
Right.
And then this is the last one. I'll send this out. I sent it out a few months ago, but now that it's 2024, I'm gonna mention it again. There's the new corporate, I think we call it the Federal Corporate Transparency Act, where if you have a PC, a PLLC, an LLC, that you have to now register. I believe it's with FinCEN. I will send those links out and everything. So if everybody's not familiar with that, if you have one, you need I believe if you had one existing prior to January 1st, you have until the end of this year to register, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Don't quote me on that. I'll send out the info. But if it's new, you have to do it right when you set up a new LLC or
And do
PLLC.
they have the forms now?
Yes, I believe they do.
It's on.
Is it on there? Okay.
You might wanna check, cause I'm a lawyer and I've heard of a listserv with other lawyers, and somebody just posted there that they postponed it for a whole year,
Right.
Oh, my tax lady.
the whole thing. Wow, so.
They, I think it's for the people that were existing. If
Okay.
I'm not, I could be wrong, but yeah,
Could be wrong.
yeah. I know there is something through the end of this year, but new ones I think have to do it now. I'm not positive on that, but. Anyway, so I'll shoot you more information about that for anybody who has trouble with it or have any questions, let me know. All right.
Good job.
Thank you.
Nate, I'll let you take it away. Here's a quick report, sir.
All right, so Sarah's home with the flu of some sort, 103 temperature.
Oh.
Sarah, hope you're feeling better. You're watching online. We were on a Zoom prepping for this and she got me sick over Zoom. Kind of feel that way. All right, this is a camera. This is called the Owl. So we're gonna get some feedback from people watching, but it follows you around. So I don't know. We'll see. How's it looking, Mike?
It's following, yeah.
There you go.
It's cool, like,
So I could run over there and it'll follow me.
Yeah, it does split screen, it's crazy.
But if you get too close to it, it just shows your backside.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, here's a quote that I came across the other day. To obtain what we've never had, we must do what we've never done. All right, so in real estate, you know, we start the year off zero, right? You might have some stuff in escrow, but everything turns back to zero. Does that bother any of you? It bothers me every year for 36 years. Right? Our team is diamond by, I don't know, $10,000-15,000. You guys should have referred me somebody, so I could have got diamond, right?
Giving yourself a retainer.
Yeah, but you know, the thing about it is we didn't earn it, so we didn't get it, you know, but we were so close. We thought we had it until Kim and Cindy told me the numbers that we had were wrong. But yeah, we have to do it right. So what we have to do is we have to think outside the box. So we have some toolbox for you guys this year to start the year off with. So one of our core values is simplicity. So some of you, I talked about this in the last video, and I was quite surprised that several of you wanted to have it, and we sent it out to you. So we sent you this one-page business plan. Now, in the workman system and other coaching systems, business plans could be 10, 20, 30, 40 pages long. What I have found, my attention span doesn't get me past the first few, and I'll come back to it. And then 6 months later, I'm coming back to it, and then I'm ready to start next year, right? And it's never done. Remax came out with this one-page business plan. I thought it was pretty cool. And what I want you to think about having a one-page business plan, if you fill this out and you just put it up in your office next to where you sit, and it's just visible, like a picture of your kids, right? It's just visible. When it's visible in your mind, you know, you'll be able to see your goals over and over again. So really, nothing spent a lot of time on that. You just put your sales volume, your gross commission goal, monthly buyer appointments, seller appointments, contacts that you're gonna have. Your physical goals, financial, relationships, spiritual. And on the bottom, there's a little spot for your why. Why are you doing this, right? I think everything starts with why. If you don't know why you're in business, hopefully it's just not to pay your bills, right? Hopefully it's beyond that. Sorry. If it is to pay your bills, let's have a coaching call so we can try to get you beyond just focusing on that. Okay, so we're introducing a new system they call the $20 million referral system. Okay, and I did some math on what $20 million means. Okay, we also are going to show you some statistics. Mike went through and found out what it was the average commission that we charged last year for listing sites and what we received on the buying side of the transaction. Well, I can't even say that. So just whatever you guys charge, right, is up to you, right? But it's Shannon's smiling. But you know, maybe this is a number, right, that is factual over the last 12 months. And so you can fill out information. But when you're filling out your information on your business plan and your goal worksheet, you want to use your numbers. if you don't know what your numbers are, we can give you the averages, right? But you should go back and it's real easy to go into MLS and do a search on yourself for the last 12 months, and you can see every transaction that you closed. Of course, we'll have any new home sales in there, you know, you could probably go back to Cindy and get a 1-year printout of everything that you closed, right? So you need to know your numbers, but these are 7 questions you should prepare yourself to have, you know. What were your expenses last year? Anybody know what their expenses were as a percentage of the gross? This is where you're supposed to say 10%, 12%, 15%, right?
18.48%.
18.48%, okay. So you need to know your expenses, right? Or your projected expenses. Your average sales price, your average commission, what's the percentage of business is buyer and seller? Does anybody know what their ratio is? I mean, how many buy sides versus sell sides?
Have it in a spreadsheet.
Yeah, well.
I don't have it memorized.
Right.
I know where mine.
I can tell you that for me, over the last probably 36 years, believe it or not, it's about 50-50.
I was 61%.
61% what?
Seller.
Sellers, okay? All right. So, you know, you need to know your numbers, because when you put them into the spreadsheet that we're gonna get to in a second, it gives you factual information, okay? And then also knowing your conversion ratios is important. So Steve, if you went on 10 listing appointments and you got 7, that's a 70% conversion ratio, right? Are you guys tracking that, right? I mean, even years back when I was at Remax Integrity in the back corner, that we're in the back corner again in that office. I ran a spreadsheet of every listing appointment I went to, we put it in the spreadsheet. And then when I lost the listing, I know that's shocking, right? When you lost the listing, I would call the seller and congratulate them. Congratulations, I can't speak, on hiring so-and-so, they're a great growth, right? And for my own personal growth, could you tell me why you chose this person over me? And they would usually say, well, it's commission, I was with my daughter, I just used you to get the price, you know, whatever it was, you know. I wanted that information because without feedback, you can't grow, okay? So I would challenge you guys to do that. And then what percentage of your buyers turn into a closed sale? And that's really, if you get a buyer from an open house, you put them in KV Core and you're following up with them, all those people that you're putting in, how many of them come out the other end as a buyer, right? So again, that's conversion. So this is a real simple, again, everything we try to do and teach is simple, okay? It's so simple to do, it's even simpler not to do it. Right? So you just gotta get in here and do this. This would take you a couple minutes. As a matter of fact, we were talking yesterday, I'm gonna block out my calendar every other Tuesday. If somebody wants to sit down and go over this form with me, and I can help you go through it. It's really very easy, but we want to really open ourselves up to help you grow. So at the bottom line, everything in red is what you fill out, right? It's pretty much the questions I just shared with you, so I won't go into too much detail. So Mike took the numbers, and the average commission earned last year by a Remax Professionals agent was $134,000. Okay, most people that join our company, I would say almost every recruit, especially if they're brand new, they have a goal. And it's amazing, their goal is almost the same thing every time. And they want to earn $100,000. Okay. So what we teach here, if you want to earn $100,000, you have to cover the expenses on top of that $100,000. In this example, if our average agent was paid $134,000 and their expenses were 20% of their annual income, their expenses would be $33,500 a year. Okay, so that would, in this example here, this is gonna net, they need to gross $167,500 to net $134,000. Right, so the goal, you have to focus on what you want to net, what do you want to put in your pocket, not just the goal, because if you would have put in $100,000 at the top, your net would have been 80. Right, And your goal isn't to make 80, it was to make 100, right? So we gotta make sure that we gross it up. You can see in this area up here, see if I find the right button. Oh, killed it, Mike.
What have you
I
done?
don't know. There it is. Okay. That's a lot. The box even. Okay, so up here, let's get the right one again. You can see the percentage of business that came from listings and the percentage of business came from the buy side. Again, those are the average numbers of the whole company. 52% of the business was listings, 48% was buy sides. What's interesting, and I'm talking Workman as an example, in their analogy of a full business, you should get 1.5 buy sides closing for every listing you have. If that was correct, those numbers would be a little bit different, right? What would be the percentage of those, Mike?
So you should basically be at 63-33.
There you go, 63-33. But you know, I mean, Remax is a listing based company, and you guys list a lot of houses, okay? What's that?
Was only 96, 63-33, what happened,
No, it's
4%?
64. I'm also getting over a cold.
That,
call.
you're gonna break it down out of there?
Hey, only one mathematician in the audience got that. Okay, so in this, you're also gonna say, what is your percentage of the listings that you take sell? You 100% of your listings sell? I know I didn't have all mine sell last year, you know? I only had one expire. It was really a fire. He fired me, but we did.
Was that the dude that took me?
No, he's still around.
He's still around.
Yeah, we can't, we try to fire him. Anyway, so you know, once you put your data in, it's gonna give you all your equations, right? So if you're gonna have 90% conversion rate and 65% of the presentations you go to, you're gonna get the listing, right? How many people, 100% of listing homes you go to, do you get it?
I know what you're gonna say, when I'm one on that, I'm gonna get 100%.
You're not. Yeah, so if you get 100% of your listings, you're probably just going on your friends, right? Or you're maybe discounting your fee so low that they're just gonna say yes, right? So you're always gonna have competition, and I'd love to say, everybody I want a listing appointment, hire me, and it doesn't happen, right? So you can, if you know your numbers, you put them in here. So this other section over here, this red section, these are like 7 things that you can just kind of pick what you're gonna do on an annualized basis. And again, this is another one sheet you can print out and put it right next to your computer. What I found with business plans that I wrote, no matter how detailed they were, they either lived in the computer, okay, or they lived in the drawer. And I never looked at them again, right? So I'm really trying to get you guys to just fill out these 2 forms, if anything, and have them present in your mind every day, okay? Tape it to your mirror if you can at home, you know? It's funny, our daughter Mila has all these things written on her mirror. What's on her, Conrad?
Well, you want me to?
Well, maybe I better go in and read it.
You're so pretty, thanks, we had so much fun, you know, just most of them are pretty inspirational to her. There is one friend that wrote some things we won't talk about.
But you're not the dog. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Well, perspective's important, I guess.
But you know, I mean, and I know people that write their goals on their mirror, you know. All kinds of different things you can do. So wherever you want to display that, that's up to you. Okay, so this is kind of just showing a little bit close with that top, because I'm sure your eyes couldn't focus on those little tiny words. So you can just see where you're putting in all the stuff in the boxes. It'll immediately spit out all the information. It'll show you what you need 9 transactions on the listing side with an average commission of 900 or 9,328, which totals out to 87,000 over the course of the year, and so on, right? It just gives you all the information you need. This is the bottom half of the form. Again, just giving you all the information you need. So, any questions on that?
When are you gonna send that to us?
On Friday's email. Okay. So your Friday email will be loaded up with a bunch of stuff, right? Instead of sending one out just for today's meeting, we'll just put it in the logs, okay? If you really want it faster, let me know, okay? Or let Kim, but it'll be out tomorrow, okay? All right, this is a pretty interesting slide. And it says it requires 13.2 hours of referral referral generation to acquire one listing. Somebody stayed up all night and figured this thing out so I can read it, right? You know, what do you think of that number? So 13 hours, there's 7 days in a week. If you spent 2 hours a day in some type of lead generation, you should get a listing a week. Yep. Right?
Richard? Is that accurate?
Check it. All right.
I'll let him know.
So if you want to figure out how many listings you want to take. If you want to take 30 listings, then you just got to prospect, and this is only for 5 days a week, by the way. For 5 days a week, if you want to take 30 listings, you have to spend 92 minutes, an hour and a half a day prospecting. If you spent an hour and a half a day prospecting for listings. And you make $134,000, is that the best 2 hours of your day? Right, or hour and a half? Right, so pick your number. The math's already done for you, that's the commitment. I wrote something down. Something out there. Success is predictable. I made this up myself. This is a Nate quote. Success is predictable, but so is failure, right? So if you don't do anything, you're gonna suck. Sorry. You know, I mean, if you don't do anything, just like that opening quote, you have to do something different to get something better, right? So a couple stats I wrote down. These are negative stats, but this is reality. We closed 2 million less transactions in the United States than in 2021. 2 million less. That's a big number, right? That's going from like 6.8 to like 3.8 or something, whatever. There was a number, that number. Yes,
But that was an anomaly.
it was,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
trying to spin up.
Yeah. And it's not negative, it's just, but the point is, a lot of us created our budgets and bought houses and bought cars in 2021 based on our income. And then today, it's like, oh, okay. But just because the market's down doesn't mean you need to be down, right? So if, and I'm gonna use the math on 20 million, right? $20 million production, what does that mean? I took our average sales price of the company. And that means 47 transactions. That means 2 houses a month. So I'd like to say that you can, so work 2 weeks a month, sell a house, those 2 weeks, take the other 2 weeks off and have a really good year, right? So 47 transactions. Do you think it's hard to get 47 transactions?
Is that 4 months?
Huh?
Is that 4 months?
Is it?
You said
Yeah.
4 times 12 is 48?
Yeah, it is, that's one a week.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was at the tire store doing that.
Aaron.
I'm not spending it, and I'm good at math. I'm not gonna share this because I might be wrong on the number. But, you know, pick your number. Let's use 10, it's real easy math, and if your average commission is 9,000, as we showed an example, that's $90,000. Just pick your number. And continue on. All right, so we have this program. That's easy, it's simple, part of our core values. We're gonna deliver information. And we're gonna give you a QR code in a minute, so get your phones ready, you'll be the first ones to have this system, okay? We're also gonna use this system as a recruiting system for other agents, and we're gonna just share our learning ability out to the masses, okay? So what this program is a very simple system that will deliver you goods every single month on what to do next month. How many people have a top 50 list? Okay. Top 50, it's been around, almost every trainer has it, right? How many people do Popeyes? Okay, great, the Phoenix crowd, right? So. What we're gonna share here is pretty much. What all the best trainers, the best agents in the country kind of do and teach, right? And it's gonna be in this very simple package that'll be delivered to you when you want it, 24/7. And you should have a challenge on hitting your goals by just using this one system. Now, this one also has a one page, which I'll show you in a minute. So maybe there'll be 3 pages that you'll have with you that you can look at that will pretty much define your whole year. Okay, when you get into the system, there's a starter pack. When you click that, it's gonna download right to your hard drive, right? And all this stuff will just create a little folder to put all your stuff in for this 20 system, but everything's gonna be there. As an example. Client events, how many people do client events, right? We have a bunch of client events in here you can pick from. Has everything from postcards to letters to emails to follow-up, the whole system, okay? You can see in here, there's a couple examples, bowling event, movie night, pizza night, fundraiser event, right? Popeye gifts, for the Buffini fans and everybody. We have a system in here for Popeyes for every quarter, right? Or every month, however you want to do it, right? Totally up to you. There's basically 4 simple steps, right? Is to create your list, right? Call it list of fans, okay? And there's a whole worksheet in there, there's spreadsheets in there for you just to fill out, right? Most of you have that already. We're gonna try to empower a lot of the stuff in the marketing pieces right into KV Core for you KV Core users. So you can put them on a plan. You can almost set it, forget it, right? Who said that? Set it, forget it.
Ron Bofill.
Ron Bofill. That's only the older people. That's right. Okay, if you're having a hard time with your list, you know, there's basically a memory jogger there that has everybody or every profession or, you know, your cousin, your uncle, the gardener, the doctor, the attorney, what have you.
You
in
play
this
golf
list.
with, you know, like whatever.
Okay, here's the point. I know you can't read it, right? But what this breaks down is into 4 pieces, 5 pieces here, okay? Up here is a recommended calls. These are ideas and reasons to call somebody, right?
Jump to the next slide, it's.
Okay. A little bit better?
Yes.
Better now?
I'm going to call you right now.
Okay, so reasons to call, so this is so simple, right? It is so simple, right? So basically, we give you 3 ideas to make a call. Most people say, I don't know what to say, so we give you some opportunities, there's also scripts behind it that you can reach to for each one of these topics, right? I don't think you need a script to call somebody, wish them a happy Mother's Day, you know? But, so we give you some ideas what to do in each month. Also, the next column over is emails and texts. It gives you some opportunities. And what you do when you're using this plan, you go through and you look at January and say, okay, for my call, I'm gonna do an annual review. I'm gonna send out a annual market update email, and I'm going to send a postcard or a letter or something to that, for that month, right? So there's basically 3 activities you do each month. There you go. All right, so phone calls, text, email, mail or postcards, and then client events. So the client events are based on a quarter, and so are the Popeyes. So you just go by in this form, you just check off the things you want to do on an annual basis. You'll probably have a clearer plan than you've ever had in your life. And it can be done just in a few minutes. It's not that difficult. You might even say it's simple, right? Okay, this is just a close up. When you're doing an event, you can put the date, you can put your budget, what's the event gonna be? You can do a Popeye, what's it gonna be, when you can do your delivery, what's your budget? guys like this?
Yeah.
Cool. If you have an iPad, it's really cool. If you have an iPad and you use your pencil, you can just go through real quick and check your little boxes, right? If you don't have an iPad, you just want to do it on a computer, you can create a little X and put X's in there. Or if you just want to print it out and use a pen, it doesn't matter, right? It's whatever you want to do, but it's simple.
Is this system free also?
Oh my God, it's free.
Only to bring back professional.
So there's just a couple examples here. You know, so we have an example for, you want to be a high producer, medium producer, an average producer, whatever, right? Whatever you want to do. Because again, this is your business, you do it your way, right?
Hey,
You
I
create your own
here want to be average. Okay, all right.
Well, average is 134,000.
Yeah.
There's some people that aren't.
Probably 3 times.
You know, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just a blow up of that. Again, so, better now? You can see exactly what you're doing. You're just checking a box and you're just running through it. Mike, what is $20 million times 2.5%? You know what it is at 3%. What is that 3%?
At 3%?
Yeah.
That's what, 600?
600,000, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 2.5.
Thousand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this system is built. We're gonna make somewhere between $500,000 and $600,000 if you hit the $20 million, right? So it doesn't seem to be that difficult. It's only, how many houses a week?
One.
One, okay? Do you think you can sell one house a week?
Yes, absolutely.
Whatever your answer is, you're right. Right? You believe in what you believe, right?
I
Hey,
think you can, I think you can't.
yeah. If Alex Rabil was in the audience here, but he's not, might be listening at home. I remember when Alex Rabil and I used to sell HUD houses. It was not uncommon for Alex, without an assistant, to sell 100+ houses a year. Not 47, 100+, right? If anybody remembered Alex back then, he had this daytimer that looked like one of those daytimers right there, but it was like this. This guy can ride down the street, take a call, and almost pre-qualify somebody on the phone, set an appointment while he was driving. Right? He closed. Right? He's a closer.
You didn't have mobile phones back then, though.
Yeah, we did. Oh, yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We had the first clock out there. You know me, I got a gadget, you know. But so, you know, set your mind where you want it to go, right? Because this is your business, it's your life, design it the way you want. Okay, so everything has a system in this. When you download, there is basically a business plan for every little thing, or policies and procedures for everything. This is an example, this is January's instructions. These are the things that you do for January, right? It's all dialed in for you. So you can set it and what? There you go. And then here's one like for an event. They even have postcards already designed in here for you, okay? Now, we're gonna make them more specific as we go through. We're gonna try to create some, you know, we've always wanted a delivery system for you guys that was easy for you to go get instead of having to ask us for something. So we're gonna try to populate this with social media posts and so forth, you know, so you can just pop them in. Or take the ID and customize it yourself, right? This is an interesting, I put this out today, this one right here. If I could sell my house for X, I'd list my house this year. Text me your number. Right? So what if somebody texts you, is like, hey, I saw your post and I want to sell it for 400,000. I want to sell my house for 700. If I get 700, I'm ready to move. What do you do?
List it, baby.
You list it. You're definitely gonna jump on and do a CMA, you're gonna get an appointment, you're gonna talk to them. This is a way to get the phone, they're gonna call you. It's just one idea. But what's really interesting here, this is showing data. Now, this is probably national statistics, not necessarily Arizona. But it shows that if you bought a house in 2008, it's gone up 194%. Right, it's doubled twice. Right, is that correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I just wanna make sure.
Mathematician said, yeah.
He's doing the math. So if you look at those, and you can almost use this as a. You know, just as a thought, like if somebody bought a house in 21, it's gone up 18.48%. In the last 2 years, right?
That's nationally, right?
And nationally, but you know, it's probably very similar,
Yeah.
right? It's probably very similar. Now, I guess it can be done for the valley, but you know, again, it's just numbers, right? It's just numbers that you can see where, when you're talking to somebody and they're saying, you know, I don't wanna buy a house today because of the interest rates. Right? And you can go back and say, when was the last time interest rates were 7%? And let's just assume that was 2015, I'm just making this up because I don't know. Well, the people that bought a house at 7% in 2015, their house went up, is doubled. Right? So you gotta be able to get people off the fence, right? And so that's what I'm saying, this is gonna be a skills-based year. You're gonna have to be able to say the right things to get people to get off the couch into your car and buying a house.
Well, if you look at 2005, you know, when we thought was, oh my God, the worst time in the whole world to buy, you know, about all those houses. Interest rates were around 6 then. I mean, I paid 6.125, right?
Mhm.
And those properties have doubled, or, you know, they're virtually, so if you'd hung on to your house instead of letting it go, you'd be in a great situation right now.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, you know, I mean, that's a good time to show people, I use that.
Yeah.
You know, even with people with investment properties, I'm like, well, the people that hung on to them, look what they have today, you know? And it's almost paid for by now, even if
Right.
you know,
It's amazing, you know. And one of your goals might be, if you don't have, is to buy an investment property in 2024, right? Or get with some other people, pull your money together and create a little LLC, buy an investment property with 2, 3, 4 people, if you can't do it. But get into buying real estate, because I mean, these numbers don't lie, right? No. That's reality, you know. What's really scary, most of you that have children under 20, you imagine them buying a house. Right, coming in and working at wherever they're working. You know, and coming up with a 10, 3%, 4%, 5% down payment at today's prices. It's getting more and more difficult to obtain home ownership, right? The good thing about that generation is my generation and above, right, the boomers are getting ready to, over the next probably 10, 15 years, gonna be the largest transfer of wealth in the world's history, right? So we need to understand that the people that have money, they might want to start, well, matter of fact, today, we have a client, that called me, and he says, and this is interesting, I play golf with this guy at Blackstone. His story is, he was poor, okay? Family had no money, you know, he just kind of went to work at 12, 13, doing what kids do to earn money, you know, cut grass or whatever. And, he got a job at Costco, okay, eventually. And he worked at Costco until he retired. He retired at the ripe old age of 54 years old. Right? He's a member of Blackstone, he plays golf every day. I'm kind of jealous. And what he did with his paycheck, they lived beneath their means. He put his money away into investments. Some of that's real estate, some of that was into, doubling down on his retirement at Costco. And, he's retired. So today, he called me, he told me on the golf course a couple weeks ago, he goes, Nate, he goes, I wanna help my son buy a house. Right? And he goes, he really doesn't, he has some money and apparently does, he's got money he's put away. But his dad's also gonna transfer about $20,000 to him as a down payment. And he's coming in at 1 o'clock today to sit down, he's already done the loan application, mom's coming in to help. They wanna show their kid how to buy a house, right? We need to be that conduit, we need to help people do that, right? So, again, there's a lot of wealth out there, we just need to tap into it, right? To help their kids buy a house, and that's what's gonna happen, I think, more and more in the near future. More and more older people are gonna downsize too, right? almost every call I get today is they're downsizing. Right, they're my boomer clients, right? They're all downsizing. They don't need the big house anymore, the kids are gone, wife's tired of cleaning it or whatever, right? All right, so basically, we just broke down 10 items here, I'm not gonna really read them to you, okay? But you can kind of see what we have here from what we just talked. If you do these 10 things, you're on track to get to a $20 million referral system. Now, if you understand anything about doing a business plan, you should have 4 pillars of business. We're kind of sharing one that has probably 4 pillars in it, you know, from Popeyes to, you know, I don't think there's anything on there for open houses. Doesn't mean we don't want you to do open houses. This is just one system to get referrals. Any questions? Got your cameras with. You guys know how to take a picture of a QR code?
Yeah, even it works on Android.
Right. Do you know that you don't need to use your.
Right.
Your camera, is actually that you just turn on your QR code thing.
Yeah.
And you swipe down and it pops up your QR code reader. I remember you used to have to download these things to your phones 10 years ago, right? Because of COVID, QR codes became very, very popular. They've been around for what, Mike? 15, 20 years now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, there you go, there's a QR code.
I do that one, but-
So where's this QR code? reading?
If we're a mathematic genius,
But he said there was a QR code reader.
what it is, it's on the iPhone, I don't know.
Oh, it's an iPhone.
Huh?
Memberships?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's also, here's the QR code. I made it easy because I'm simple.
Thank you.
AZ 20million20m.com. We were looking at QR codes. It was really nice professionals, blah, 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 400 characters. That's about as short as I can make it.
And so, yeah, when you get there, I heard someone mentioning it, yep, you can just click on, set up your account, start your free whatever. Again, it's all gratis to you guys. So just get in there, that will give you a login. And then, again, as you pick things, we'll start sending you stuff proactively as well. But again, that way you can jump right in there. And one thing we should probably mention is, again, this is being built out, right? This is a collaborative thing, just like Workman, again, it's crowdsourced out there, right? We're looking at data everywhere, we're seeing what works, we're sharing things with people. You know, we're gonna see that changing as we go. If you're into a blog, let us know. But the other big piece of it was, again, we've got so much pent up demand right now. I mean, we didn't want to sit on this, right, Nate? I mean, it's like, get out there, use it. So if you're on something, bear with us, let us know, but we're probably on top of it. But again, at least your first quarter is locked in pretty well there, and we're just creating more as we go.
One of my visions for this program is that we'll have a quarterly mastermind, not quarterly, a monthly mastermind. Just talking about like February. These are all the items in February and talk through it, right? And there'll be some tips and tricks, but that'll start probably later in the month. Cindy, I do not have a date for that, right? This is all fresh, right?
But it's free.
Free.
Is this Workman or did you create that?
It's created by a friend.
Awesome.
And then, like I said earlier, it's kind of an alpha. I mean, there's a lot of, there's like a lot of the momentum pieces in there, like the 33 touch, again, like the Buffini's got Popeyes at 50, the Workman top 50. So that's the other thing. If you've been doing really any of the stuff that any of us have been teaching and sharing and pushing for the last like decade here, it dovetails so easily. Now, if you're brand new, right, just starting out, again, there's stuff in there too to help you like get started fresh. But again, you know, this is so easy to execute on. I definitely spend the time if you don't have one to make a top 50 so you're more focused. But yeah, if you just execute on this at any level, if you're not already doing these things, is that going to get you more or less business, would you say?
More.
Okay. Be honest to me.
To piggyback on that, you guys think about this. If you look at, when I look at numbers of our agents, and then as long as we've all been around, the consistency in some of our agents in their business is because they do these kinds of things and they do them on schedule. And I hope Rick doesn't mind me sharing this story, but Rick Ramirez, big Buffini guy as well, but he works the system. And we were talking last few months ago and he said, I asked him how things were going and he said, you know, the one thing I know is that when I get slow, I know I can look back a month or two and know what I didn't do. Because he didn't, and he said, I got off focus and I get myself back on track and it starts coming back. So it's that consistency. So the more things change, the more they stay the same. And these are basic things, but they packaged it up so easy now. And when Nate was showing us, I was like, wow, this is, I mean, it's point and click, less thought. You don't have to design things. It's just easy for you.
The big, the first planning thing was pretty intimidating.
Which one?
The big one that you did, like.
Oh, yeah, it was, yeah.
Like 30
I-
pages of like evaluating everything in your life. I've never.
Yeah, it's not, I'm very simple, right? So, this is a very simple system, so I hope you guys use it. How about a little thought?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
And how much is it, Cindy?
No charge.
And I don't mind you sharing this with an agent outside the company, right, that you wanna help. Maybe it might be something that causes them to wanna come over to Remax in the future, right?
So everything that you showed us is on this now, on the QR.
Yeah, the one business plan is not on the QR, the first one, that little one-page one.
Right.
And then the other,
The one-page spreadsheet one.
the spreadsheet is not on the QR code.
And that will be sent to us next
Right.
Friday, tomorrow. Oh, okay.
And again, like, it would probably make sense for us to add things into the starter pack or something, some annotations, but again, just out the gate here directly to you, so.
Yeah, we're gonna try to put more and more in, stuff as this thing goes out, right? And anything that you think that we can add to it, just let us know, send it to us, and crowd share it, right? 'Cause the one thing that Frank and I did when we started this company is, we used to go to a thing called Star Power. And one thing about Star Power was, it was everybody sharing, right? Everybody learned by somebody else's path, right? So there's no reason to ever reinvent the wheel we have. The wheel just got better, right? Is it either 24s, or really sparking wheels, right? So this is a really good system. I hope you guys take it. I hope you guys have a great year. Anything else, Mike?
No, that's it. We'll jump into a mastermind. For those who want to stick around. Thanks so much, guys.